Hello everyone, today we're going to go over the installation of our Dometic RTX2000 air conditioner and our MaxxAir 7500 fan in Clifford, our big red van. So, let's jump into it.
While we're fairly confident that we could have installed these things on our own, we opted to bring in a professional to help us out. So we went up to Overland and met with Andrew, and he helped us with the installation of both of these units.
When we first spoke with Andrew, we asked if he would be open to assisting us so we could still be actively involved in the install instead of us just dropping off the van. We were so excited when he said he'd be up to it.
Andrew has a few years of van building experience with one of the larger van building outfits in Colorado, so he's someone that we could definitely trust cutting holes into our $60,000 van.
Andrew was great at guiding us through the process. The first step was to climb onto the roof and trace out where to cut.
Yeah, just drill holes that'll help us mark where the, that's perfect, beautiful, where the form will go on the bottom. So just like perfectly drill through the corners.
Okay.
We can probably move the template to make it easier. So just right on the corners. Cool. We can also get some of that stuff from below. And it depends as well, whatever feels safer or easier to cut from, because this is a bit precarious. It might be nice to cut from the bottom. So we'll probably just go for the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So drill a giant hole into the van.
Yeah, just get that corner perfect. And even if it's slightly off, there's enough room for some play. The first hole. How's it feel?
Pop the cherry.
Oh, no. Not there. Perfect. Beautiful.
Cool.
Once the corners of the template were drilled, we jumped back into the van and connected the holes with a straight edge. This would replicate the template that we traced on top, but would allow us to cut from the bottom, a safer option since we didn't have super tall ladders with us. The next step was to widen those initial drill holes with a step drill to make them large enough for the saw blade to fit through.
Nice.
See the post there?
Nope.
Let's hide it more.
Not quite.
Perfect.
Power.
Then it was time to cut.
And then just follow the line over to the corner, and then you can start from this hole and go to that corner.
This was our first time using a Sawzall on metal, and Andrew provided great guidance to help us get straight cuts. And when we didn't cut so straight, he happily jumped in and put on the finishing touches.
It just means that we have to do less work later.
Yeah.
'Cause we'll clean up that line either way.
Gotcha. Okay. Start same thing.
Yep. And you can kind of like pull it back and work it forward to get that curve. So it gets it done quick.
Yeah.
So then what we would do is come back in these edges.
Okay.
And just clean those edges up a little bit.
Okay.
If you want me to.
I'll let you do it.
Cool.
The RTX 2000 requires a little notch cut out in addition to the easy square. So we climb back onto the roof and cut the template lines we traced earlier with a jigsaw.
Katie, don't.
Cool.
Cool.
We'll set that piece on and we'll see if the Dometic, actually we can just do a quick measurement and see if this hole works.
Okay.
Like with some of this stuff. And then if it doesn't, we can just trim it up with this guy.
Cool.
A final check with the template and a signal of approval, we moved on to drilling the holes for the bolts. Once all the holes were cut and drilled, we used our deburring tool and files to clean up the sharp bits, and then painted on all the newly exposed edges with Rust-Oleum.
I'm painting
That's good.
to prevent rust.
Are you gonna paint the mural on the side of the van?
A dragon.
You're doing a great job.
Look at me contributing.
I don't care what Andrew says. You're not too bad.
What?
While the paint was drying on the hole for the air conditioner, we moved on to cutting the hole for the MaxxAir fan. This was a very similar process to what we had just done for the AC. After tracing out the square template for the hole, we used the step drill to make large holes large enough for the Sawzall blade, and then cut along the lines as best as possible.
And there's a ton of leeway on this one too, so.
What was that?
There's a ton of leeway.
Okay.
It's not really a... Nice job.
Sunshine.
Oh yeah. So then yeah, just cut in that corner, nice and tidy,
Okay.
and then it should be good.
We then filed down the sharp edges again and test fit the plastic frame before painting those edges with Rust-Oleum.
So the original idea was having the AC unit in the far back directly above the bed, and that's exactly where that hole was cut. But
I messed up. So Andrew moves really quickly. He's a professional builder, so he doesn't need to like take the time to think. So when we got there, I was like, and the AC is gonna go, or the MaxxAir fan is gonna go at the very front, and I pointed to it, and so he taped it off and started going. And as we installed it, we were looking at these support systems that we bought from DIYVan, and we're like, oh, those aren't gonna fit. And then I was like, oh no, we installed the MaxxAir fan in the wrong spot, and that is totally on me. It kind of messes up what we wanted to do on the roof, which I feel really bad.
It definitely messed up things that we wanted to do on the roof, because we wanted to have the front to be a large horizontal, so like a east to west solar panel, and the patio and all of that. Unfortunately, we now lost that space, so we had to downgrade the size of our solar panel, so we do 2 small strips on the sides.
And now our patio's in the middle.
Yeah, the patio's now in the middle, and everything's smaller, and it's going to be okay. Like, we're not going to like hate on Katie for messing up, but she definitely messed up.
Because we wanted the fan also to be right next to where we're gonna put the bathroom, so it could suck up all of the moisture when we were running it. So now it's gonna be
a little
bit
forward,
ahead of it.
and it's a forward of where the kitchen was going to be. So like we just have a fan that probably isn't going to do much, but that's okay.
Okay, lessons learned when you cut stuff in the roof, you know, just like double, triple check before you just go at it. And I think had we been doing it ourselves, we would have taken a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But the installation itself, it looks great.
Yeah.
The next step was actually installing the units. After prepping the AC, it was time to climb up to the roof to adhere the RTX adapter.
There's a speed adjuster on the side too if it's going too slow.
Okay. How much should I put on this?
You can never do too much, but we also want to avoid
Not having
bolts.
So
I'd say do like a line around the outside from the inside here,
okay.
as far away from the bolt as you can get it, and then we'll probably do another one around the far outside.
Okay. So that's...
And turn it so that you get that trough. So you see how it's cut like a peak. So that'll help it sit up like this,
Okay.
so that you will get a nice solid contact area. I mean, that'll obviously contact too, it just, yeah, nice.
And then on the outside you said? Or no?
Yeah, even then I think it's okay. Maybe do like connect the lines on there just so we've got good adhesion on the sides, and then it should be fine. This stuff's really strong, so perfect. And the whole point is to create a gasket as well, so as long as we've got continuous bead, no more chilling. Perfect.
Yeah, that's quite good. Cool.
Beautiful.
All right.
And then we can flip this over together just to make sure. Cool. And then Katie,
Yes.
something that would be really helpful too is maybe grab 2 bolts.
Okay.
And then we'll use those to line it up so that we make sure that all the bolt holes are lined up. Okay, so we'll just flip this over together.
Okay,
Just
which way are we going?
Towards you. So we'll flip it like this.
There we go.
Yep. Yeah, and then we can just drop these bolts through.
Okay.
And that'll help us line it up so that we drop it perfectly once we go. Cool.
Cool.
So now line your bolts up. Of course, the bolts are a little bit just a little classic. For some reason, this one won't. That should be all right.
Self-clearance.
Okay, cool. That's it. And Katie, you want to just make sure that we're lining all the holes up from the bottom?
This one, I can see light. I can see light clearly through there.
And there's one more we
Oh, yep, and I saw the sun. Burned my retina.
That's good.
That one looks good.
All right, so we window weld this now. Ooh, heck.
Just make sure everything sits up nicely. Cool.
Cool.
Will this sit over the rail with all these spacers?
It might actually, which would be great.
It'll be close for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move that rail too. But
Yeah.
We ordered some additional accessories from DIYVan because if you just installed the AC unit as is from the company, it would sit really low inside the van. And since it's going over our bed, we didn't want this thing in the middle of the bed that we could smash our faces on. So we ordered some spacers that are made for the van. So it has the grooves and stuff on the roof and it sits super flush. And we also ordered some support beams for the inside that all of the stuff could bolt into to make it really secure.
We did the same process of creating a continuous bead of adhesive to attach the DIYVan spacer.
a little bit faster. Yeah, like that. That was great.
This is where problems started to arise. The adapter and spacers are meant to have holes pre-drilled that match the AC unit. The adapter matched perfectly, but the spacer did not.
Yep. Oh, that's thick.
Let's see. Can I see holes?
I cannot see through.
Not see holes.
I can see them on the side.
Can you?
Is there something weird going on with those? Are they flipped? Oh yeah, those 2 holes are flipped. Weird, but these 2 aren't.
Yeah, drill it, right?
Yeah, we'll drill through it.
Huh.
That's weird. Are these ones going through or no? No?
No.
Yeah, you can see them from this side. The pattern's like that.
Why do they do that?
Oh, I bet this piece was installed backwards.
Oh.
So somebody who built it put that piece, it should be flipped.
Despite the issue, we carried on and clamped everything down to leave it to dry. We jumped back to the MaxxAir hole. We also had a spacer for the fan from DIYVan, so we used the adhesive to attach that first and then aligned the plastic framing. The next step was to drill and screw that to the van. Andrew had these wood pieces pre-cut to the proper size that would give the screws an extra place to bite. Joey and Andrew went down each side, drilling and then screwing it into the frame. Once that was in, we dropped in the MaxxAir fan, attached it, put lap sealant around the edges on the roof, and then that project was complete. Moving back to the air conditioner, Andrew drilled out the holes that were not properly cut on our spacer. Then it was time to adhere the foam to the unit itself using a continuous bead of JB Weld. After a coat of spray adhesive on the top of the foam, it was time to carry the unit onto the roof. This thing weighs nearly 80 pounds, and it was at this point we were really happy to have Andrew helping us.
Maybe we need to move the ladders a little bit. But they'll be far apart from each other. Here, I'll go first. Okay. Get out of your way. Okay, if you want to try to come up. fun stuff happens. Yeah. And set it on that. Yep.
Oh, do we need to move that bar?
Oh shit, yeah we do. We can apply more spray adhesive. Yeah. Bring it down. Yeah.
After removing the 80/20 crossbeam from the roof rack, it was time to mount the unit for real.
Yeah, this way. Okay. Not the important safety instructions. Okay.
Safety, never heard of her. And then I'm climbing up the yellow ladder.
Yep. Get up as far as you need comfortably every time.
I can't. Get back one more. Okay.
Set it. As you get up.
Cables.
Yep, slide it on. Towards you.
Towards.
Towards me.
There you go. So a little bit on your side, Joey. The cables.
We're good.
Yep.
Okay.
Now we're gonna line up the bolt holes.
Oh shit.
The weight of the AC combined with the adhesive made it hard to make adjustments to line up the pre-drilled holes with the holes the bolts will have to go into the unit itself. This started a series of struggles.
Binding. Oh yeah.
The mounting braces from DIYVan did not come pre-drilled, so Andrew took care of that for us. Minutes after placing the air conditioner into the hole, a large rainstorm came. We felt really lucky to have both the fan and the AC in, because having an open hole while the rain poured down would have been really bad. We weren't having success getting the bolts to grab to the AC, and with the lightning rumbling and rain pouring, it wasn't safe to be on ladders troubleshooting the issue, so we called it a day. Mama B lent us her RV, so we found a campground near Andrew's workshop and enjoyed a night experience what van life will be like with a completed van.
Good morning, puppy. Good morning, puppy.
The next morning, back at Andrew's, we decided it would be best to remove the AC and further drill out the holes. We went through each hole with a bolt to be absolutely certain it would work. Then it was time to go through the process of attaching the air conditioner all over again. Another line of JB weld, the foam, a layer of spray adhesive, and back onto ladders to get it onto the roof. This time everything lined up, but the bolts weren't long enough to get through the DIYVan support beam and grab onto the unit. Andrew drilled a quick countersink into the support beams and we were back in business. He bolted it all together to the manufacturer's torque recommendation, and then we headed back home with a few completed projects in the books.
So now that the AC is installed, you can see that it kind of sits up about 2.5 inches above the metal roof of the van. And I just wanted to like really make sure that was watertight. So I got Flex Seal. I painted that on, painted about 3 different times, let it dry for about 24 hours each time. And we've had multiple days of snow now and absolutely no leaks whatsoever. So Flex Seal works, knock on wood.
Yeah, that was good. So no one's gonna see the roof unless you have like a drone. So it's okay that it's like.
Or you get invited to be on top of the roof.
Invited to our deck.
Yeah, we're gonna have deck parties, fancy deck parties. Or if you just climb on top of our roof without us asking, which don't do that.
Don't do that. You don't have a ladder to get there. But basically, it may look a little bit like messy, but no one's gonna see it, and it gives us a watertight seal. So that's all that matters, really.
Yeah. So that is the conclusion of this video. We're happy that there's an AC unit. We're happy that there's a fan here. We haven't actually tested it yet because we have no power, but we're hoping it works. If we were smart, we would have bench tested both devices. But like once again, knock on wood.
Oh God.
We are good. And you know we're not probably gonna need the AC or the fan anytime soon because it's cold. So we'll
see.
We'll be good. But we are excited to get power running to them and getting some chilly butts, because it's gonna be chilly in here.
If you've made it this far, hit that like button because it really helps us. And if you want to see how we continue to build out this van, hit that subscribe button and follow along.
Huzzah! Hit the like button, do it.
Tune in next time for the installation of our Arctic Turn window. Thanks for watching.